All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new movie review. I just got back from seeing Nobody 2, the second film in the Nobody franchise starring Bob Odenkirk. And absolutely nobody from the original comes back for this one. Nobody comes back for this one. That means everybody came back for this one because he's nobody. So I couldn't resist. I'm going to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. This was one of my more anticipated films of the year. I really enjoyed the first film a lot. And I really like Bob Odenkirk. I loved him on Better Call Saul. I loved him in Nobody 1. And an interesting fact, for people who don't know, he actually had a heart attack during the filming of the first film and actually passed away, and they brought him back, and he's obviously made some life changes and is doing much better now. And so he is back as Hutch Mansell, along with his wife, Connie Nielsen, their two children, and Grandpa comes back too. Yes, we have Christopher Lloyd. And what we find out at the beginning of this film, and I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, I'm only going to give a few things away. Now, the good news about this film is it is written, or was one of the writers was the guy who created the character, and so this is very much in line with the first film. In fact, there are massive repercussions about what happened in the first film that trail on into this film. And at the beginning, you have Bob Odenkirk, Hutch is trying to deal with these issues so that he can move on with his life. In the meantime, he's having to hide basically what he's doing with his second life from his wife still. She's aware of it, but she's trying not to get too much involved. And it's tearing them apart a little bit. And so he decides it's time for the Mansell family to go on vacation to get away from everything. He's taking a break. And lo and behold, somebody had to go and smack the daughter on the back of the head. Who in the world would smack the daughter on the back of the head? I can tell you that if that happened to my daughter, I'd go nobody as well. So I can appreciate how they set up the story here. And once that event happens, all hell breaks loose. And the good news is this movie is a short 90 minutes long. And it keeps your attention from the opening scene to the final scene. This is one of the films where you go to the movies just to have fun, sit back, get away from real life, and watch the film. Now, here are some interesting things about the movie. First of all, I felt this movie was more serious than the first one, and I appreciate some of the seriousness they brought into it. But at the same time, it was over the top and goofy in some areas, like the first one was. The first one was definitely more of a comedy than this one was, but you had some ridiculous characters. In fact, I'm not going to tell you who the villain is because I think it gives away somewhat, too much, but it'll be someone people are familiar with, but we haven't seen in a very long time. And this character is so over the top that it's ridiculous, but it fits the movie. It's well done. I really enjoyed how they put it all together. You get to find more out about the Mansell family. You get to find out more about the grandfather. You get to find out some of the things that are going on. There's one family member that might be hiding some secrets that yet have to be explored in these films. And so we may get more films in this series, and I would love for it to continue. And so I'm going to talk about my score on this at the end of the day in a second, but I do remember when the first movie came out that the creator said that this will somehow tie into the John Wick universe. And I really hope they make that happen at some point because it would be very interesting. I mean, we saw with Ballerina, which is one of my favorite films of this year, that they expand the universe of John Wick in that film to a big degree. And you do learn that there are other factions of, assassins out there. And this could be one of those because we still don't quite know where Nobody came from. They don't reveal too much about him specifically in this film, but you definitely find out more about the grandfather and a little bit more about the family history. You also have the brother that comes back, which is pretty cool. So the whole gang is back for this one. And they are definitely, there's some cool things that happen, let's put it that way. And the ending is, even though a lot of what happens ends up being predictable at the end, it is just sit back, watch the carnage, enjoy the end type of film. And the ending is quite lengthy. Like, they really put on a spectacle at the end of this film, no different from the first film. And they really brought it to a level that was very entertaining, I think, for the audience. So if you like the first one, I think you're going to like this one. My wife, we both walked out saying we liked it just as much as we did the first one. It is a perfect sequel. I don't see anything that tarnishes the name, anything that drags it down or ruins what they did in the first film. In fact, it makes me want to see more. And that's always what you want from a film, to walk out and want to see more. And so at the end of the day, I give this film, I want to say 3.5, but I had more fun with it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's not a 4-star film, and I want to make that very clear, that it's not like a 4-star film. But if you're just going in for pure entertainment and you're not being too critical of some of the ridiculous things that happens, you're going to have so much fun with this. And it's a 4-star fun film. But if I gave it a film score, it would be about 3.5. So we're going to say 4 for fun, 3.5 for film. That's something I really haven't done on my channel before, but I think you have to do that sometimes, make exceptions for certain things. And this is one of those movies that is not meant to be taken seriously, although it has some serious moments in it. There are some pretty cool moments in this film that I think everybody will enjoy. So if you were on the fence about going to see it, or you felt like it was going to ruin the first one, it certainly does not. Go have fun. Come back. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. All right, guys, we will see you on the next review.